Salvete omnes, ego sum magister Sullivan. Welcome back. We're back with Caesar 1.2, where Orcatorix plans a coup. Recall that in Caesar 1.1, Julius Caesar is describing Gaul, how it's divided into three parts, how they're different, who's the strongest, um, and then so remember that Caesar is not going to go up against weaker foes, even if he does, because it's not good for his gloritas. All right, here we go. So among the Helvetians, Orgetorix was the most noble and the richest. So these are all pointing to Orgetorix by far. He, with Marcus Massala and Marcus Pupio or Pupius Piso as consuls, this is all one giant ablative absolute. We'll talk about that later. Having been influenced, so inductus goes with is, which means it goes with orcatorix. Having been influenced, by having been led by the desire for kingdom. So this regni, this is a genitive of, called an objective genitive. So it's completing the meaning, like an object does for a verb, is completing the meaning of cupiditas or cupiditate. And here's our main verb, right? So he made a conspiracy of the nobility, right? So of the nobility, again, going with the genitive here, going with spirit, conspiracy. Who's it formed of? Excuse me. And he persuaded the city-state. He persuaded the state. He persuaded the population. This is dative because persuadio needs a dative. To here's our main verb, our verb in the subjunctive good clause here. So this is called an indirect command. All right. So he persuaded, again, the state to leave from their boundaries or borders with all their troops, all their forces. It was going to be easier. It will be easy, right? It will be easy, or it is easy to gain possession of, to take the command of all of Gaul, right? Take the command of Gaul, of all of Gaul. Yeah. He persuaded them, city-state, right? Them. It would be, or this would be, or this, which is that, would be rather easy because the Helvetians are contained on all sides by the nature of the place. Uh, on one part is the Rhine River, and the Rhine River is very wide and very deep, which, again, this is going to the Rhine again, which divides the Helvetian land from the Germani. From the other side, or from another part, the Ural Mountains, and they're very tall, which is between the Sequani and the Helvetians. Again, remember that Sequani is just a group of people near the Sequana River, which is the Seine in modern Paris. On the third side, or in the third part, right, we're understanding that ex parte, which or should be here, Lake Lemanus and the Rhone River, which divides which divides our province from the Helvetians. Right? It happened with these things, it happened that, or two, that the Helvetians both were wandering less wide, less far, and they were waging war. They were waging war. This is going to go with that on the boundaries, on their neighbors, less easily. From which part? From which part the humans, the Helvetians, were afflicted, and the Helvetians are desirous. They're desirous of waging war. So Cupidi is going with homines, right? But Belandi is that objective genitive again, telling us what they're desirous for. So the humans, the people are desirous for waging war. And they were afflicted with great pain, probably because they cannot wage war. So they're a warlike people. They need to get out there and wage some war. However, they were thinking that they they were thinking that they had narrow boundaries, or boundaries that were narrow for a great number of people. Right? This is that genitive again. This is called a partitive genitive because it's a great number of people, and for the glory of war and courage, bravery, strength. Right. So these are those objective genitives: courage for, courage of war. This is a partitive genitive, right, with multitudinum because it's a number. So this word is genitive of the whole, part of the genitive, part of the group, from the multitude of the people. Which or who? They were opening, they were laying open, they were revealing, they were lying open. Um, so this is again 240 miles in length and 180 miles in width. Okay, so that's it. So Orgetorix, he is starting coup. He thinks it's going to be easy because of the nature of the place and because the Helvetians like to fight, and they need to fight because they're sad, right? Who wants to be sad? They want to fight. And then we're going to get into more details in Caesar 1.3, and then he gets himself caught in Caesar 1.4, and we're going to figure out what happens to him. Spoiler: it's not going to be awesome. All right, Omnes, that's it for today. Caesar 1.2. Curate ut valietis. Take care, everybody. Valete.